place for young kids to sleep, and the brook in the meadow lies down. And with straw hats and wagons and horses, like young Tim and tired old Dan, we'll take to the field, to the creak of a wheel, and a pitchfork that blisters your hand. And you have to make hay when the sun shines, that's what all of the hill people say. Just keep your load wide, keep your eye on the sky. Make sure it's dry when you put it away. I remember the chaff on the back of my neck, and the cool at the edge of the trees, where you stop for a while and you talk about the weather, drink from the stream and get mud on your knees. But it's back to the wagons, it's back to the mow. 6 loads in and 8 more to go. And there's biscuits and beans at the late supper meal, and there's nothing like beans when you're working, you know. And you have to make hay when the sun shines, that's what all of the hill people say. Just keep your load wide, keep your eye on the sky. Make sure it's dry when you put it away. Of killdeer and clover, it's the time when the earth does her best. It's when all men are strong and the work day is long. You know when to rise and you know when to rest. And at the cool of the evening I'd perch in the boat, with the wagon wind blow through my hair. I'd count all the stars, talk to the moon, sing to myself in the sweet summer air. Hey, on at the corner, down from the branches, sing to myself in the sweet summer air. And you have to make hay when the sun shines, that's what all of the hill people say. Just keep your load wide, keep your eye on the sky. Make sure it's dry when you put it away. And you have to make hay when the sun shines, that's what all of the hill people say. Just keep your load wide, keep your eye on the sky. Make sure it's dry when you put it away. And good evening. Thank you very much.
Song by David Mallet.
Oh, we're delighted to be back in Longmeadow. I say back because this is our 3rd time.
Over the years.
We're Yankee Notions. This is Tim Van Egmond.
This is Jim Douglas.
Yankee Notions, that phrase refers back to the 1700s, 1800s, when a lot of peddlers traveled around New England, and they carried their woodenware and their tinware, clocks, and along with these necessaries, it was not unusual for them to also carry songbooks, both in print and a lot of songs in their head as well. Songs, stories. So everybody knew when they saw the peddler coming down the road, they were in for a good time that evening. In fact, essentially the party had just begun. Just happens to be the title of this next song. Come all you jolly good fellows, now aren't we the ones? The way we spend our nights, me boys, well, isn't it for fun? So come and join the chorus, bid dull care be gone. Never will we pardon, me boys, to the rising of the sun. For aren't we the lads, me boys, for singing and good cheer? We'll raise our rafters high, me boys, we'll sing out loud and clear. We'll sing a health to our company, we'll leave up area one. So pass the songs around, me boys, the party's just begun. If your word is often doubted and your friends are hard to cling, more stitches in your breeches than money to your name. If life's a trial, love's a trouble, your luck has turned and run, you're welcome here, you'll find good cheer, the party's just begun. For aren't we the lads, me boys, for singing and good cheer? We'll raise our rafters high, me boys, we'll sing out loud and clear. We'll sing a health to our company, we'll leave on area one. So pass the songs around, me boys, the party's just begun. For now's the time for pleasure, life is but a span. Gaiety's a treasure, secure it while you can. Take the girls all in your arms and keep them snug and warm, and give them kisses, sweet me boys, the party's just begun. For aren't we the lads, me boys, for singing and good cheer? We'll raise the rafters high, me boys, we'll sing out loud and clear. We'll sing a health to our company, we'll leave on area one. So pass the songs around, me boys, the party's just begun. Last night I had a terrible dream, I dreamt that I was dead. And in that state to heaven's gate my weary soul had fled. My card was stamped for purgatory, but I took a chance and rung. Come on inside, St. Peter cried, the party's just begun. For aren't we the lads, me boys, for singing and good cheer? We'll raise the rafters high, me boys, we'll sing out loud and clear. We'll sing a health to our company, we'll leave up area one. So pass the songs around, me boys, pass the songs around, me boys, pass the songs around, me boys, the party's just begun. Thank you very much.
Some of you may want a better look at this instrument I'm playing. This is called the Hammered Dulcimer. It's got about 70 strings. I lose count. It's too painful to really know for certain when I have to tune it.
He has these little wooden mallets. Maybe some of you are too far to see them. These little wooden sticks. He strikes these strings rhythmically and appropriately, make this beautiful, beautiful sound. This instrument, this kind of instrument, goes back several centuries. And during the Middle Ages, during the Crusades, it was brought up from places like Persia up to Old England. And then in the colonial days, it was brought from Old England to New England and spread from New England all across this country. It was not unusual to hear the sounds of a hammered dulcimer emanating from farmsteads and different places. Henry Ford sponsored a band in the early 1900s that featured a hammered dulcimer.
You used to be able to order it from the big mail order catalogs like Sears and Woolworth and that and the...
So Tim's going to be using that a lot this evening. The kinds of people that played that, of course, 200 years ago were not professional musicians. They were, for the most part, farmers and people who just enjoyed the sounds of good music. And so there were fiddles and wooden flutes and hammered dulcimers, and they sang a variety of songs, some of which came from Old England and were handed down in families, and some of which were, of course, created here in this country. A lot of them were known in both places. We'll do a couple of those. Of course, being farmers was not unusual for them to sing about agricultural pursuits. We'll do a couple of those old songs. A couple of songs that actually we know were sung right along here in the Connecticut River Valley. They were printed up in places like Northampton, Suffield, early 1800. We found both these next two songs. They came over from Old England, were pretty popular and new. And the first one does certainly talk about agricultural pursuits, but it's clear that agriculture is not the only thing being pursued here.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Indeed. And I think everybody but Jack is mentioned in this song.
No, he is in this one. That's right.
Okay.
Yes, and we have a easy sing-along chorus that took us about 6 months to learn.
That's right.
But we'll just give you the last line that you can jump in on. You'll know that you can join in when we sing, "And Kitty she was the charming girl to carry the milking pail."
Oh, it's so bucolic. Very good. Yep.
Yep.
Dame Durden had 5 servant maids to carry the milking pail. She also had 5 laboring men to use the spade and flail. There was Moll and Bet and Doll and Kit and Dolly to drag her tail. There was Tom and Dick and Joe and Jack and Humphrey with his flail. Then Tom kissed Molly and Dick kissed Betty and Joe kissed Dolly and Jack kissed Kitty and Humphrey with his flail. And Kitty she was the charming girl to carry the milking pail. Dame Durden in the morn so soon she did begin to call. To rouse her servants, maids and men she did begin to bawl. There was Moll and Bet and Doll and Kit and Dolly to drag her tail. There was Tom and Dick and Joe and Jack and Humphrey with his flail. Then Tom kissed Molly and Dick kissed Betty and Joe kissed Dolly and Jack kissed Kitty and Humphrey with his flail. And Kitty she was the charming girl to carry the milking pail. 'Twas on the morn of Valentine when birds begin to tweet. Dame Durden and her maids and men they all together meet. There was Moll and Bet and Doll and Kit and Dolly to drag her tail. There was Tom and Dick and Joe and Jack and Humphrey with his flail. Then Tom kissed Molly and Dick kissed Betty and Joe kissed Dolly and Jack kissed Kitty and Humphrey with his flail. And Kitty she was the charming girl to carry the milking pail. Dame Durden had 5 servant maids to carry the milking pail. She also had 5 laboring men to use the spade and flail. There was Moll and Bet and Doll and Kit and Dolly to drag her tail. There was Tom and Dick and Joe and Jack and Humphrey with his flail. Then Tom kissed Molly
And Dick kissed Betty.
and Joe kissed Dolly.
And Jack kissed Kitty.
That's a good one. And Humphrey with his flail. And Kitty she was the charming girl to carry the milking pail. There was Moll and Bet and Doll and Kit and Dolly to drag her tail. There was Tom and Dick and Joe and Jack and Humphrey with his flail. And Tom kissed Molly and Dick kissed Betty and Joe kissed Dolly and Jack kissed Kitty. And Humphrey with his flail. And Kitty, she was the charming girl that carried the milking pail. Thank you very much.
We planted the cabbage at the edge of the garden, then we sat back home to watch it grow. They aren't much trouble, no one really likes to eat them, except some little tiny bugs we all know. They don't need very good soil to grow, so it comes as a kind of a surprise that the cabbage worms will eat them till there ain't nothing left, unless you squish the little butterflies. So come on down, let's go out, have a bug squashing party tonight. We'll squash those little buggers as they begin to flutter till our fingers have turned all white. We'll clean the cabbage worms out of the cabbage patch and everything will work out right. So come on down, let's go out, have a bug squashing party tonight. Take a ramble through the brambles growing 6 feet tall. Take some berries and pop them in your mouth, 'cause it takes lots of work to keep your berries healthy. Take brambles to keep away the drought. But those little green bugs will come along and eat them till your stems fall over in the rain. Well, you can take those little bugs and you can squash them in your fingers, and your berry patch is healthy again. So come on down, let's go out and have a bug squashing party tonight. We'll squash the Japanese beetles in their shiny green armor if they don't get away in flight. They're loving each other all over the bushes, completely unaware of their plight. So come on down, let's go out, have a bug squashing party party tonight. Here's Jim's favorite verse. Now slugs is bugs that nobody loves, but everybody understands. 'Cause they look disgusting and they taste disgusting and they feel disgusting in your hands.
That's true.
But of all the bugs that you can find in the garden, slugs have a special place in my heart. 'Cause they love to drink beer. They'll drink any kind of beer, and they won't stop once they get a start. So come on down, let's go out, have a slug drowning party tonight. No, they don't care if they're floating in Guinness or sinking in Miller Lite. They ain't particular and they got no taste, and they'll drown in any beer in sight. So come on down, let's go out, have a slug drowning party tonight.
Kind of harsh, Tim.
Yeah, I know. Now I never did think that I'd be telling my kids that it's okay to kill another living thing. And I know what you mean when you tell me even Japanese beetles can learn how to sing. And I agree when you tell me that every living thing should have a chance to live the way they wish. But if I go out and plant it, why then, God damn it, if you eat it, you're gonna get squished. So come on down, let's go out, have a bug squashing party tonight. No, we don't want to spray 'em and we don't want to zap 'em and we don't want to cause 'em any fright. If they leave us alone, we leave them alone and everything will work out right. But come on down, let's go out, have a bug squashing party tonight. Oh honey, come on down, let's go out, have a bug squashing party tonight. Yuck.
Thank you very much. How about a little limberjack?
Okay, so what we have here is a little wooden dancing person. It's a traditional rhythm toy called a lumberjack. I built him and taught him everything he knows. They work pretty simply. Here, let me appropriate this microphone here. They come batteries included. You're the battery. Let's move this a little bit over. There we go. So as you can see, I'm sitting on a rather thin and flexible paddleboard, just on one end of it, putting his feet up, and when I pound the board, we get a rhythm. Once you get a little used to him, you can get a few tricks out of him. Maybe sitting down on the job, maybe doing a little break dancing. But they are great for doing along with songs and tunes of different kinds. We have a favorite song we like to do with the lumberjack, and you have an easy part that you can join us on. We're going to sing Turkey in the Straw, and you say, ha, ha, ha. Let's practice. Turkey in the straw. Excellent. Of course, you realize that you don't have the benefit of a sound system that we do, so you need to go louder so we can hear you. And then we'll sing Turkey in the hay, and you say, hey, hey, hey. Let's try it. Turkey in the hay. Much better. And then the rest of the chorus, if you want to sing along, paints a beautiful picture. A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw. Now, we usually go through the chorus twice through, so we have to do that again. Are you ready? Turkey in the straw.
Ha, ha, ha.
Turkey in the hay. A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw. What do you think, Jim?
I think we could actually raise the bar a couple of notches.
I think people need a bit of a challenge to keep them on their toes.
All right.
Yes, so here it is. After the first time through the chorus, we're going to change a word in the next time through the chorus. Instead of singing turkey in the hay, we'll sing turkey in the, and each time we'll fill in the blank with a different word. Your challenge, should you decide to accept it, is to come up with a word that rhymes with the word that we use. But to keep it simple, always start it with an H sound. So for instance, if we sang turkey in the tree, you would say
He. Yeah.
He's right. I don't know if you were.
I've heard it before.
Ah, okay, here we go. Well, I had a little chicken and she wouldn't lay an egg, so I poured boiling water up and down its leg. That little chicken squawked and the little chicken begged. Her little chicken laid a hard-boiled egg. Turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay.
Hey, hey, hey.
A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw, turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay.
Hey, hey, hey.
A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw. Well, I had another chicken and she wouldn't lay an egg, so I poured hot chocolate up and down its leg. A little chicken squawked and the little chicken begged. Then the turned little chicken laid a
What kind of egg? Yes.
chocolate egg. Turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay.
Hey, hey, hey.
A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw, turkey in the straw, turkey in the tree. A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw. Well, I went to the river and I couldn't get across, so I grabbed an alligator because I thought it was a horse. He wouldn't go forward and he wouldn't go back, just opened up his mouth, went clack-a-rack-chack. Turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay.
Hey, hey, hey.
A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw, turkey in the straw, turkey in the snow.
Ho, ho, ho.
A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw. Have you ever gone a-fishing on a bright sunny day? Seeing all little fishes going every which way with their hands in their pockets and their pockets in their pants. All little fishes doing a hoochie-coochie dance. Turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay.
Hey, hey, hey.
A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw, turkey in the straw, turkey in the car. A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw.
Old Farmer Brown had an awful scare. Chased 10 miles by a grizzly bear. People thought he was out of his mind, running 10 miles with a bear behind.
Turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay.
Hey, hey, hey.
A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw, turkey in the straw, turkey in the sky. Oh, hi. A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw. Well, I went to Longmeadow and I went around the block, and I walked right into a bakery shop, and I pulled 3 donuts right out of the grease. And a shopkeeper 5-cent piece. She looked at the nickel, she looked at me, she said, "This nickel's no good to me. There's a hole in the nickel, there's a hole right through. Says I, there's a hole in the donuts too. Thanks for the donuts. Goodbye." Turkey in the straw, turkey in the hay.
Hey, hey, hey.
A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw,
finish.
turkey in the straw, turkey in the well.
What? Wait a minute.
Oh, excuse me. A bullfrog danced with his mother-in-law, and he whistled out a tune he called Turkey in the Straw.
Bum, bum, da, dum, bum, bum.
So again, this is called a limberjack, also known as a dancing Dan, a stomper doll, a fiddle puppet, lots of other names.
Well, people would dance, have all kinds of dances, and including the lumberjack would love to dance. Of course, you need some music for that. And along with songs, there were a lot of tunes played. French-Canadian tunes. Before that, Scotch, Irish, English tunes. And Irish particularly. If you're talking about traditional New England music, you certainly have to have some Irish tunes in your repertoire. So we're going to do some for you. Tim's going to play the Hammered Dulcimer. I'm going to play the concertina.
This is an English concertina. The sound comes out of the sides, both sides of the instrument. That's why Jim was arranging his microphones. We started out that set, and maybe I'll give you the names of those tunes just to give you the flavor of that. We started out with My Darling Asleep, and then another traditional Irish jig, Charlie Hunter's, and then the 10-penny bit, and then we switched to a reel from Nova Scotia called Big John McNeil. We'd like to thank everybody for turning out tonight. We'd also like to thank the Longmeadow Park and Rec Department for including us in their Sunset series. And tonight we're also sponsored by People's Bank, so we wanted to be sure and mention them.
That's right. We'd like to thank our manager, Deb Ockel. She always books us to the nicest places, and when we go far away, she tries to give us nice accommodations. Usually she tries to book us into the Vile Inn. And their motto is we don't fiddle around when it comes to comfort. We'd like to thank our Pilates coaches, the Dover twins. That's Eileen and Ben. And we're going to finish this set with a song called Bridges.
This is a song by Bill Staines. It also has a version that the one I learned this song from was from a recording by Dean Stevens, which includes a Spanish translation, which he came up with. We'd also like to mention that there are refreshments available over here at the White Tent, which helps to support the programs of the Longmeadow Parks and Recreation Department. We have some CDs for sale of our recordings up here, and that helps support our programs. So again, this is Bridges by Bill Staines, and we're Yankee Notions.
Bridges, bridges in the sky, they are shining in the sun. They are stone and steel and wood and wire, they can change two things to one. They are languages and letters, they are poetry and all. They are love and understanding, and they're better than a wall.
Hay puentes, muchos puentes, en el sol se ven brillar. Hierro, madera y piedra pueden dos a uno cambiar. Son lenguajes, son las letras, la poesía y el amor. El asombro, el entendimiento, tumban muros con su fulgor.
There are canyons, they are yawning in the night. They are rank and bitter anger, they are all devoid of light. They are fear and blind suspicion, they are apathy and pride. They are dark and so foreboding, and the road so very wide.
Hay barrancos que se escuchan en la noche postezar, ominosos que conspiran de todo su luz vaciar. El temor, el odio ciego, la indiferencia, la altivez, son oscuros, peligrosos y anchos a la misma vez. Construyamos puente musical, cruzar con nuestro son, corregir otra maldad, atravesar otro cañón. Si alguien nos pregunta dónde es que vamos a andar, a construir los nuevos puentes, nuevos lazos que forjar.
Let us build a bridge of music, let us cross it with a song. Let us span another canyon, let us right another wrong. And if someone should ask us where we're off and bound today, we would tell them building bridges and be off and on our way.
A construir los nuevos puentes, nuevos lazos que forjar.
We would tell them building bridges and be off and on our way. We had a number of requests during the break.
But we're going to play again anyway.
Hey. blackbird down my road. He'll be there beside the river when winter finally breaks its hold. He'll be king among the rushes, he'll be master of his hold. Thought I heard a red-winged blackbird down my road. Thought I heard a red-winged blackbird down my road. Safe as Moses among the rushes, makes his home on the riverside. Every time I hear him singing, makes me feel like spring inside. Thought I heard a red-winged blackbird down my road. Thought I heard a red-winged blackbird down my road. He'll be in there singing his head off. He'll be telling stories too, where he went to spend the winter, how he's going back there too. Thought I heard a red-winged blackbird down my road. Thought I heard a red-winged blackbird down my road. Thought I heard a red-winged blackbird down my road. Thought I heard a red-winged blackbird down my road. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Tim was playing a mountain or an Appalachian dulcimer. Same word, dulcimer, but totally different instrument.
Distant cousin. More authentically American instrument. I made this one over, well, let's see, 28 years ago. Keep going.
Take her by the lily white head, lead her like a pigeon, make her dance the weevily wheat and scatter religion. Wheat in ear, my love's a posy growing. Wheat in ear, I'm going off to sea. Wheat in ear, I left her fit for sowing. When I come back, what a loaf of bread she'll be. I don't want your weevily wheat, I don't want your barley. Want some flour and half an hour to bake a cake for Charlie. Trading boats going ashore, trading boats a-landing. Trading boats going ashore, all loaded down with brandy. Wheat in ear, my love's a posy growing. Wheat in ear, I'm going off to sea. Wheat in ear, I left her fit for sowing. When I come back, what a loaf of bread she'll be. Higher up the cherry grows, riper grows the cherry. Sooner that you court a girl, the sooner you will marry. Take her by the lily white hand, lead her like a pigeon, make her dance a weevily wheat and scatter her religion. Wheat in ear, my love's a posy growing. Wheat in ear, I'm going off to sea. Wheat in ear, I left her fit for sowing. When I come back, what a loaf of bread she'll be. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Now we're going to do an old ballad that comes over from England. You may have heard different versions of it. As a matter of fact, James Taylor made a wonderful version of it and recorded it. We found this in a New England collection of ballads.
One morning in May, I spied a young couple a-making their way. One was a lady so pretty and fair, and the other was a soldier and a brave volunteer. The other was a soldier and a brave volunteer.
Good morrow, good morrow, good morrow, said she.
Where are you going, my pretty lady?
Going to the banks of Lowly,
For to see the waters gliding, hear the nightingale sing. For to see the waters gliding, hear the nightingale sing. Then onward went the soldier and his fair lady, till they came to the banks of Lowly. And they sat themselves down by a clear purling stream. For to see the waters gliding, hear the nightingale sing. For to see the waters gliding, hear the nightingale sing. And out of his knapsack a fiddle he drew.
Pray, cried the lady, pray play me a tune.
And he played her a tune, made the valley to ring.
Hark,
Hark, said the lady, hear the nightingale sing. Hark, hark, said the lady, hear the nightingale sing. Said the soldier, 'tis time to give o'er.
No, cried the lady, pray play one tune more. For I'd rather hear your fiddle to the tune of one string
Than to see the waters gliding, hear the nightingale sing. Or to see the waters gliding, hear the nightingale sing. Oh, then said the soldier, will you marry me?
No, cried the lady, that never can be. I've a husband in the Northland and children twice three,
And another in the army's too many for me. And another in the army's too many for me. Then I'll go back to London and stay for a while. And often I'll think of you fondly, my dear. And when I return, 'twill be in the spring. For to see the waters gliding, hear the nightingale sing. For to see the waters gliding, hear the nightingale sing.
Thank you. This is a song by Linda Thompson.
Oh, no, it's fine. I won't get you.
crazy old man. His eyes seem to glaze in the light. Just an old hawker, to judge by his clothes, come in from the cold of the night. The whole room was dancing, they paid him no mind, as he stepped to the bar and said, please be so kind. And the music kept ringing in the back of his mind. No telling what a love song will do. The queen of the ballroom sang a favorite song. He stood with a glass in his hand. And tonight, well, he was weary of living all the days of his life. And tonight was the last he could stand. He shut out the future, he shut out the past, and even the present was running out fast. As the queen of the ballroom said, make this the last. No telling what a love song will do. She started to sing the last song that night. He stood there, trembled alone, and the pain he'd been holding inside for so long just fell from his heart and was gone. It was only a love song, simple and clear, but he shred as it shook him with every last tear. And he cried from relief, and he cried half from fear. No telling what a love song will do. Now the queen of the ballroom still glitters and shines each night at the old kindness say. And maybe it's something they put in the wine, but her beauty refuses to fade. I think she got married to a stranger, they say, just a crazy old man who came passing one day. And the whole town still dances, and the music still plays. No telling what a love song will do. No telling what a love song will do. Thanks very
Thank you.
much. These songs that we've been singing, for the most part, these old songs, songs that were collected, some of them, they were collected in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s all around New England. And when these collectors went around, today we call them folk songs or traditional songs. But when the collectors came around, they wouldn't ask people if they knew any folk songs because nobody would have known what they were talking about. They weren't known by that name. If they ask, however, for family songs, songs that maybe they remember their parents or grandparents, maybe even their great-grandparents singing, then they were much more likely to find some marvelous gems. Sometimes they'd find someone who knew hundreds and hundreds of these old songs. They were remembered as family songs. This is a song that Uncle Bob sang. This is a song my mother sang, and she learned it from her mother, who learned it from their parents, and so forth. And for some families, maybe that's all that was left behind were the songs that you could remember different people by. And actually, when you think about it, that's not such a bad thing to remember people for. Jerry Rasmussen took that idea and wrote this lovely song called A Handful of Songs. What's your A like? I have is my grandfather's hammer and his old railroad watch and its casing all worn, and the Bible her grandmother bought her last Christmas. She left to my mother, now she's passed it on. Some may leave money from a lifetime of saving, some just their name on a marble stone. It's not what you leave, it's the joy of remembering. All I can leave you is a handful of song. Some may leave stories well-tuned in the telling, some just a joke that can still make you laugh. Lessons hard in the learning, some just a smile in an old photograph. Some may leave money from a lifetime of saving, some just their name on a marble stone. It's not what you leave, it's the joy of remembering. All I can leave you is a handful of songs. Days slip away without notice. How many friends have been lost on the way? How many good times are taken for granted, only remembered when they passed away? Some may leave money from a lifetime of saving, some just their name on a marble stone. It's not what you leave, it's the joy of remembering. All I can leave you is a handful of songs. All that I have is my grandfather's hammer and his old railroad watch and its casing all worn, and the Bible my grandmother bought her last Christmas. She left to my mother, now she's passed it on. Some may leave money from a lifetime of saving, some just their name on a marble stone. It's not what you leave, it's the joy of remembering. All I can leave you is a handful of songs. Some may leave money from a lifetime of saving, some just their name on a marble stone. It's not what you leave, it's the joy of remembering. All I can leave you is a handful of songs. Yes, all I can leave you is a handful of song. Thank you very much. That's a sweet song. Well, we've sung songs of the farm, songs of the sea. Another part of the New England tradition, of course, was the songs of the work in the mills, textile mills, big industry in New England.
There's a big history of people moving from the farms to the textile mills when the Industrial Revolution started taking hold.
Yeah, first it was the young girls on the farms who left the farm to make some money and a life for themselves, and actually that was considered the great promise, the mills were. But as time went on, by the 1820s and 30s, and certainly by the 40s, times had gotten pretty tough for a lot of people. Irish immigrants were coming in, taking over a lot of the work in the mills that the New England girls originally had performed. Wages went down, and it was tough times. And that's where this song, old song, comes from. Sometimes called the Lowell Mill Factory Girls. Sometimes it's just located wherever the town is that the mill happened to be in. And it went something like this.
1, 2, 3.
When I went down to Lowell, some factory for to find, I left my friends and neighbors and all my friends behind. Hittery-airy-ay, 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 hittery-airy-ay. But now I am in Lowell and summoned by the bell. I think less of this factory than of my native hell. Hittery-airy-ay, 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 hittery-airy-ay. The factory bell begins to ring and we must all obey, and to our old employment go or else we turn away. Hittery-airy-ay, 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 hittery-airy-ay. No more I'll shake the factory floor, no more I'll press the loom, no more I'll scour the dirty floor, all in the weaving room. Hittery-airy-ay, 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 hittery-airy-ay. The overseers need nothing because they higher stand, that they are better than the girls that work at their command. Hittery-airy-ay, 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 hittery-airy-ay. Come all you weary factory girls, I'd have you understand, I'm going to leave this factory, go back to my native land. Hittery-airy-ay, 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 hittery-airy-ay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's see what we got. Mary Ellen? This is still Stan Rogers' song called the Mary Ellen Carter.
1, 2, 3.
She went down last October in a pouring driving rain. The skipper, he'd been drinking, the mate, he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock, she was dealt a mortal blow. The Mary Ellen Carter settled low. There was just us 5 aboard her when she finally went awash. I worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groan she gave as she went down caused us to proclaim the Mary Ellen Carter would rise again. But the owners, they just wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, and met her fatal end. The insurance, they have paid the cost, now let her rest below. And they laughed at us, said we had to go. But we talked of her all winter, sometimes around the clock. She's worth $250,000 a-standing at the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain. Make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again. May her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. All spring now I've been on a barge, led by a friend. 3 dives a day in a hard hat suit, twice I've had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. But we've patched her ends, stopped her vents, dog hatch and porthole down, put cables to her fore and aft, girded her around. Tomorrow noon we hit the air, then take up the string. Watch the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again. May her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. We could not leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, living through the gales. And the laughing drunken rats who left her to a watery grave, they won't be laughing in another day. And you to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, with smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go, turn to, put out all your strength of heart and arm and brain, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken, your life about to end, no matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken, your life about to end, no matter what you lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it. We're going to finish off with this old sailor song. It's a song that they sang when they were getting ready to return back to New England after a long trip out at sea. Had it been a whaling voyage, you could have been gone 3 to 5 years, so folks were rather homesick. Life on board ship was not very good. A lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done in unison. And to help you do that, songs were sung, songs called shanties. They'd provide a rhythm appropriate to the kind of work you had to do. There were halyard shanties, short drag shanties, and this type of shanty called a capstan shanty. A capstan was this round machine at the bow, the front of these old wooden ships. It was what you used to haul up anchors which weighed about 2 tons. And there was a round drum-like machine, and when it was time to haul up the anchor, the men would put these wooden spokes, these capstan bars, into the top of the capstan, and they'd start pushing against those capstan bars and marching around and around and around the capstan. It could take you hours and hours of back-breaking work. Work that was monotonous, back-breaking. And to take your mind off it, you sing these songs. Some we can't sing in public, but this one you certainly can.
This was adopted by sailors of many nations. It's been sung rolling home to old New England. It's been dear old England. It's been Caledonia. Depends on who was singing it.
Well, we're going to sing Old New England. We'll teach you the chorus. We'll leave you singing. It goes something like this. Well, it goes exactly like this. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land to thee. So it's rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. Give it a try. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. Call all hands to man the capstan, see the cable running clear, heave away, and with a will, boys, for New England we will steer, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. Round Cape Horn, one frosty morning, and our sails were full of snow. Clear your sheets and sweat your halyards, swing around and watch her go, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear land, to thee. And up aloft amid the rigging blows a wild and rushing gale, like a monsoon in the springtime, filling out each well-known sail, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to old New England, rolling home, dear
dear land to thee.
And fare thee well, you Spanish ladies. It is time to say adieu.
Adieu.
Happy times we've spent together. Happy times we've spent with you. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England. Rolling home, dear land to thee. I mentioned this was sung at the capstan when they were hauling up that anchor, that it could take hours to do that. It was long, hard, boring, monotonous work. It may interest you to know that there's another 15 verses to the song. That's right. That's right. And I know them all. But we'll just do one more. And the waves we leave behind us seem to murmur as they flow. There's a hearty welcome waiting in the land to which you go. Last time. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea. Rolling home to old New England. Rolling home, dear land to thee. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We hope you've enjoyed this evening. We certainly have. Hope to see you again. We're Yankee Notions. Of course.